Okay, I can see 41 attendees.
Yeah, 44. Yeah, we can see.
Danny all the way from Perth. Hey, Nick, that's the Danny that we hung out with at Perth.
Hi, Danny. Good to see you online again. It's been a couple of months since we met in Perth. Hope you're doing well with the family. On Facebook, we got 22 people who are watching it live. So we got 44 here, we got 22
Yeah,
online.
we need everyone who is listening up here. Can you go to our Facebook if you're friends with any three of us? You can see the live video and can you share that video and just add in that we are live right now to the rest of your friends so that they can also enjoy the rest of the seminar.
And we'll start promptly at 8 o'clock, which is about 8 minutes time.
Yep.
Hello, Carlos Felipe from
Hey,
Philippines.
Christian, did you share the video?
Yeah, yes, I. You mean the live?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Okay, how do I come? Okay, good. Just so that I can come out.
So everyone, thank you for being here, and this is our first ever webinar today.
That's right. It's very exciting. And now we have 49 people already. 7 minutes more to go, and 49 are already here.
Andrew, the live video was cut off, right? Just to let you know. Not too sure why.
It's cut off.
Facebook Live was like kind of cut off. Don't know whether. Yeah. So it's like a 3-minute video only.
Oh, okay. Because I think we haven't gone. Okay, never mind. No problem. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will do it again.
Okay, so those of you are able to share it live using Zoom, please help us do so. And those who cannot, then just forward our Facebook live when you see it.
Yeah.
So just hang on with us. We will start promptly, definitely promptly at 8 p.m. So it depends on where you are. Hey, Kang Lun, nice to see you. Hey.
Yeah.
Evening.
Hello to you too. Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm
we
go live. So I'm gonna go live again. Now we have the 3 people. It's very encouraging.
Yeah. Back to live. So we need to reshare it again, do we?
Yes, sharing
Yes, we
again.
do.
Yeah.
All right. Now we are live.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. So again, another reminder to everybody, if you're watching it live right now, can you share it on Facebook because the video is coming out from 3 of our Facebook page. Your help is much appreciated to make this as viral as we can. All of us are having our extended circuit breaker, so we have plenty of time to enjoy whatever learning we have tonight and let more people get to know about it.
Enjoying each other's company and sharing our knowledge with you. Stay to the end. The session will go in the order of myself, Andrew, followed by Nick. Stay all the way to the end. First doesn't mean best. First means they just get rid of the lower grade one. Go first. Private soldier, go first. Then followed by the sergeant and the officer will go.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Adi from JB. Welcome to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Eddie.
So now there are 62 attendants. 62. All right, Alvin, thanks for coming in. Shireen, thanks for coming in.
It's 4 minutes to showtime.
4 minutes, showtime. Yeah.
Hey, Eunice, good to see you. Florine, good to see you. George, good to see you. Rita, good to see you. Joe, good to see you.
Prashanta from Sri Lanka, hello.
All right, now we have 70 people and we have roughly 3 minutes to go.
The other 127 going for their home haircut, I think. So frankly, I saw for the men, I saw a very interesting YouTube where this guy actually cuts his hair with a electric razor. You guys can go check it out. So he starts off with the longer jig, and that's number 6, and then he just cuts it very quickly, and then he reduces the 4, 2, 1, and then just trim at the back 0, and he actually does it all by himself live throughout on YouTube. I mean, there was no cut scene, and it actually turned out very, very well. So that gave me a lot of confidence, and so today we practice it on my son. In fact, all of us were so excited. Instead of one hairstylist cutting 3 heads, it was 3 hairstylists cutting 1 head. So we took turns with him, and it actually turned out quite nice. So I don't know, you guys got to do something else. By the time 6 weeks, you guys look like Tom Hanks in the show. What's that show?
Yeah.
The one that he marooned in the island. The Makase ball.
Oh, Castaway.
Castaway, such a boomer show.
Yeah. So it's very good. Now we have 80 people already. We are about 2 minutes away. Thanks for coming in. For those of you who just logged on, kindly go to one of our Facebook page or profile if you know us. You will see the video. It's being streamed live right now. So if you can be so kind to share that video with your own personal message and invite everybody that you know in, this will be an awesome event. And the link is also placed together with my video, so it's very easy. Of course, you can always put in your own words.
And to see whether you can remove the prior live one, because I think some people were posting the prior one. So you can.
Yes. Thanks for reminding.
Okay, but we have to start really soon because it's just like 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
And we've got quite a full house already.
Thank you for putting it live for us. Yeah. All right. The first one was only 3 minutes, Andrew, and the one that's going live is.
Yeah, so they make sure they don't share the wrong one.
People share that already.
Some people were sharing the previous one,
so I deleted the other one. So we have 2 live video. Please, if you have shared the one 11 minutes ago, please delete it and share it again. Right now, I have about 8 share, which is awesome.
Yeah, we got close to 100 people. We got 90 packs. Chris.
What's up?
Alrighty. We've hit 8 p.m.
Okay.
Give me a minute, okay?
Oh. Cast Away, yes, Maxim, thank you for that. Sudah tua lah, so can't remember everything. Watch so many movies.
So it's 8 o'clock now. 96 of us. Let's start the ball rolling.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and over to Chris.
Okay.
So a very good evening to everyone. Now we have exactly 101 participants and 3 panelists. Thank you very much for coming here tonight. You guys must be all excited to discover the real you, be faster, be higher and better today for tomorrow. So this is a very trying time for all of us, and the 3 of us decided that why not we pull our resources and our influence together and do something meaningful to boost everybody's morale, because only we know how much pain we're going through, although we don't always share all the downside of our life on social media. I'm sure all of us have our own fair share of hardship, and this is a time to rediscover ourselves. This is a time to reset everything, and the best thing that we can learn is really ourselves, to discover who is really us, who is the real we that is actually going on right now. So a bit of house rules before we start. You can pose any questions to any of our panelists, any of our speakers using the Q&A. You can of course vote for each other's question. We will try our very best if the time permit to address some of them. Do activate your emoji thumbs up if you are asked a yes or no. So when your no response is really a no, if you have thumbs up, it's really a yes, so that all our panelists can get to see the visual you. So tonight you'll be also asked to do some activity. Right now, I ask that you go and find a piece of A4 size paper at least and a marker, because later on we're going to do one interesting activity that will make this entire seminar a very, very big success, visually at least. Of course, at the end of every presentation, if you think that the speakers inspire you, please support us by activating the emoji clap. And of course, once again, please share our live video if you have done it before. That is a rehearsal, but right now this is a real thing. So go to one of our Facebook page, one of our Facebook profile, and start sharing. So three of us would like to thank, first and foremost, before we start, all the healthcare frontliners, all the healthcare workers who have worked so hard to ensure that anyone who is infected with coronavirus 19 is receiving the best treatment possible. You guys have really been overworking, and I know a lot of you are working on double shift. The numbers have gone up a lot. You guys must be really giving out everything you have, and we want you to know that we are with you. This seminar is really for you. The second group of people we want to thank are really all the volunteers. You came forward to distribute food to the needy, doing all the contact tracing, and all the safe distancing ambassadors. Really, you guys get a lot of unnecessary verbal abuse and even physical abuse during this time of circuit breaking. And we just want to say that please continue the good work that you do, and I'm sure the Lord will bless you in many ways. The third group of people who want to give thanks tonight is all the great organizations who donated money, manpower, and resources, and even in kind to support SG United. You know who you are. You have seconded some of your staff to another organization. You have given your premise to support community isolation. So all these are really deeply appreciated by many of us. Last but not least, we want to thank all the 131 participants here tonight. If you are here, please give us a round of applause. All right, we can't hear you until you're on your mic, but we know that you are here in spirit. So if you are here tonight, remember you can always go back to your Facebook and share this video live with every one of you. Okay, if you go to my Facebook, Christian's Facebook, and Nick's Facebook, you'll be able to see it. So to kick off this evening, the first speaker going to kick off this wonderful seminar is none other than my good friend, buddy, and of course mentor, Christian Chua, ESP. He is an international, world class. He has helped many people. To say that thousands of individuals is really an understatement to achieve success in life. He has over 20 years of professional speaking. So when I first started out 10 years ago, he was already 10 years in the business. He has great humor and he is always thinking on his feet. And he also has a lot of cutting edge content. I'm very amazed that every year he comes out with content after content. Very well read man and very eager to learn. He's one of the most lifelong learner I've ever known. He's also an author of 7 books. I may be wrong, maybe it's 8 by now. He's writing one. So tonight he's going to talk about what does your face speak about you? 3 parts. How does it really work? What are the applications? And how do we really read your face? So without further ado, Christian, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And you know, sometimes they might be asking a question and I might not be paying attention to it. So can you just interrupt me and you say there's a question for me?
All right.
Is it okay? Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen and let me know if it's clear. Good, thumbs up.
Yep.
Okay, so hi everyone. The first topic for today is from me, and it's on face profiling. It's also called face reading, but this is not fortune telling. So before you just click off because you are against fortune telling, this is not fortune telling. It doesn't predict the future, but you know, we all know that somehow when we see someone, we have a feeling about that someone. Why do we have that kind of feeling? You know, some of you ladies, when you were younger and you brought a boy home and your mom said, "Hey, 这个男人不好的, this guy no good." Then you say, "How do you know, mom?" They say, "I have that feeling." How do they have all that kind of feeling, and why is it right or wrong to stereotype those type of people? So that's what we're gonna do today. The main message is that how you feel and how you think and your environment actually affect how your face is eventually manifested. Okay, that means whether you have higher cheekbones or high ears, low ears, and the way that your face is shaped is affected by your beliefs, your values, and also your environment. So generally, it's like that. But you see the disclaimer below. I'm saying that all this content is based on reasonable degree of generalization. There's always extremity in any topic that you talk about. Okay, so don't bring in, hey, I know this guy or I know that guy. Most of the time we'll get it right, and there's always extremities, just as the same as in medical science. Most of the time when all the symptoms will lead you to a certain illness, but there's always a very, very rare disease or exception. So if we got that done, we can move forward. So this face profiling or face reading is based on the science of epigenetics, and epigenetics, okay, epigenetics is this word here. I am not going to spend more than 30 seconds on it because I have a QR code. If you want to know the science behind epigenetics, please take out your phone, click this QR code, and read it on your own time. If you're unhappy with the science, don't write email to me because I didn't invent it. These are the scientists invented. Epigenetics says that your DNA remains the same throughout your lifetime, but there's such a thing called gene expression. That means your genes can express. You know, when you were first conceived, you had one cell, and after a few hours, it becomes 2 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, 16 cells. Eventually, the cells form to a part of a ear, part of a nose, part of an eye, but it all came from the same cell. But it can express differently in the form of a nose or a ear or an eye. And the eye looks distinctly different from a nose, and the nose looks distinctly different from a ear. Correct? I'm glad you all answered correct. But right now, if we can be a ear, can it not be a certain type of ear? Can it be big and small? What affects this? So this pretty girl right now, you see, I just pointed here, this is called the helix, and her helix is actually sticking out. So if you see from the front part, you'll see that this helix will stick out like a little V. And what does that mean? And if you notice, there's one very famous person in Singapore that has the helix also sticking out. He was on TV at 5 p.m. yesterday. He's none other than our Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong. And people with such helix that are sticking out have actually high intuition. These are the people that can sense a character. So they are more than just listening for facts, but they are sensing your body language, the choice of words that you use, your rhythm, your pause. They're really good at it, and they can size you up. So this girl is like that. Now, if you say we should not stereotype, you know, religion tells us don't judge people, government tells us don't discriminate others. Profiling, science call it profiling, and it's used all the time. Criminal, they call it criminal profiling. HR, they want to know what certain type. Even in US, they say what race or what ethnicity is getting more of the COVID-19 disease. They want to know the statistics. Okay, so there is such a thing. So right now, if I show you this good-looking guy and I show you the other guy and say one of them is a good guy and one of them is a criminal. So hang up all your high morals here. Let's just play this game and just say, hey, who is the good guy and who's the bad guy from your gut feel? So most of you will say the guy on your right. And what makes you say that? Number one, of course, is that the orange jacket, which is actually a guy that's been incarcerated in the US. They wear the orange jacket. So that gives you a clue that he's probably an inmate. But what other things tells you? Okay, the angry look, the pouting face, the eyelids that's cut across the eye, that two crease here above the eyebrow, which you've probably never seen before. And this guy, in general, this one looks, hey, he looks like a good guy, like a safe guy. So that is already the face reading and the whole profiling accumulated together. Now you take a look at this girl. She's 72 years old. She's amazing for 72 years old. She's truly a Wonder Woman. In fact, she is Wonder Woman. She's Linda Carter, the first Wonder Woman. And she looks amazing at 72. And this lady, she's also 72. But what can you tell about this two? If I ask you, who had a better life? Who struggled more? So the ones with the better skin, obviously she must be toiling the land. She's outdoor, etc., etc. And for Linda Carter, she probably had the financial means to look after herself and have good food, etc., etc. So those skin conditions can already tell you something about a person, which probably you guys already know this basic stuff. But when we look into the lines of this elderly lady here, there are many telling signs here because there are so many wrinkles and what we call battle scars, if you could. Okay, so these lines here tell me that although she had a tough life, she's always had time to laugh, because these are what in body language we call it crow's feet. And even now when she's not laughing, it becomes what we call permanently frequently used muscles. And because she uses it so often by smiling and laughing and joking, it becomes so permanent here. Linda Carter has a bit here also. You see that? Okay, but what else does it tell us? She had some difficult lines. This line actually tells us that she gone through some very, very difficult time, and it's called survivor lines. These are grief lines. Okay, Linda Carter doesn't have it here. Perhaps later I'll explain to you what these are. And these are emotional lines. So when sometimes you look at a person and you say, hey, what happened to you? Why has life been tough? You look so like down. These are the things that tell you about that person. And another day you say, hey, your face is all lit up. You seem so happy after a certain event. And these are the reasons why. Okay. So this is Irma Roberts. Both are Irma Roberts, obviously. And this is a clever Photoshop where they put a young Irma Roberts and an old Irma Roberts together. And what I want to show you in the next few shots are, when you look at a young Irma Roberts and an old Irma Roberts, are there anything that's distinctly different? I took a long time to look. Her eyebrows almost the same. This nose is a little bit stronger, which means she's become a bit more independent, as in all adults. All kids start off with a very, very small little lollipop nose, and then as they grow older, they actually become stronger. But one thing, when I zoom in, finally I found it is a philtrum here. See it? There's some difference between these two. You want to know what it is? No, nobody say yes. Okay, so this one, she's grown up. Her ideology actually changed. She is a little bit more like, she's not so bothered about women's right, men's right. She just say, hey, women has its place, men has its place. We respect them as they are. So what am I showing you is this: if you take my baby photo at 0 years old or 6 months old, and then you do a stop motion every 6 months, a photo of me all the way that I am today, you get 104 photographs. Wow, deal with that. I'm 52 years old. And if you flip the photograph, the stop motion, you can actually see sometimes the ears will move up or down, the eyebrows up and down. So our face actually changes with time. It's not so obvious for Irma Roberts. She's kind of the same person from here to here, except for this part. But when you see the other Harry Potter star, Daniel Radcliffe, wow, you can see this baby face became a very squarish adult face. Okay, so he's more assertive now. The eyebrow is like bursting as if he like put fertilizers there or something. But you know what it means? It means this guy's really well read, very intelligent. Not so much about the beard, because at that age, most of the Caucasians will be able to grow a beard, but I've never seen the eyebrow transform from here to here like that. So this is actually the thinking styles, and that leads me to feel that Daniel Radcliffe is a very intelligent, a very well read person. The nostrils has also been bigger. Okay, and what this means is actually he has a huge abundance complex. This is Tom Hanks when he acted in Big, and this is when he acted in the Da Vinci Code, and you will start seeing the differences. So I cannot spend so much time because I got 14 minutes to go. Julia Roberts didn't change much. Leonardo DiCaprio definitely did. You can see his stronger jawlines. This is a little bit V, and this is a big roundish jawline. More energy, higher energy level. Eyebrow became bushier, things like that. Lip size about the same. You also see the nostrils the size of the nostrils have increased. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you today in this very precious 30 minutes, you have this thing called no eyelids, and here is double eyelids. Okay, when I say no eyelids, I mean it's like that, single eyelid. I don't mean you sleep with your eyes open. Don't be ridiculous. So those of you who have no eyelids, it actually means that you are a very focused person. Left brain, you like to be more pragmatic, use a lot of rationalizing abilities. Those with double eyelids, the one on my right, you actually are more affectionate. So what's the difference when you see these two people? The guy on the right, the one with the eyelids, double eyelids, you know, during Valentine's Day, if this is your spouse, you darn well buy her some roses because she's a very affectionate type of person. My wife, on the other hand, she's got no eyelids or no double eyelids, and she's very pragmatic. So I said, would you like 100 roses? She said, oh, what waste of money. Can you just buy me a toaster instead? So not so romantic, but extremely pragmatic. So that's how it goes, okay? So for body language, it's not the same as for face reading. It's not the same as body language. Those of you who attended my body language workshop, body language is usually the opposite of. That means this is closed is like a negative, and open is like positive. So you cannot say that one is affectionate and one is not affectionate. The person still can be affectionate, but the more of the left brain is showing, more of the pragmatism is showing if the person has no eyelids. Okay, so now we go into application here. So 3 iron ladies, these are 3 head of state. On your left, Margaret Thatcher, followed by Indira Gandhi and Corazon Aquino, Prime Minister of Philippines. Oh, my Filipino friends, I'm sure you all love her so much. So on the left, you see a low and straight eyebrow from Margaret Thatcher. She's called the Iron Lady. Those with low and straight eyebrow are very analytical and very decisive. They make decisions very strongly, they and very quick, and they're very analytical. For a person like Madam Aquino, with a high curved eyebrow, she's a very people person. She's very people oriented, very friendly. Okay, so people with higher curved eyebrows and high eyebrows, high meaning you see the distance from the eyes to the eyebrow, huge. This is massive. It's about 2 centimeters at least, and this is like almost like less than half a centimeter. Okay, Indira Gandhi is in between, and that's why I show you the 3 to show you the extremes. So right now, I think some of you are trying to figure out what you're looking at. How do you look like? And so go ahead, take out your phone and do a selfie or something and say, what on earth do I look like? Okay. Don't try to say, am I double eyelid or do I have no eyelids? Many of us are in between, so that's okay. But how does face reading work? We try to pick out the most prominent 5 to 6 points, 5 to 6 key points. Although there are 150 points to read, the thing that strikes us most, that's the thing that talks to us. That's why when you see some guy say, oh, that guy looks so nice, so sweet, or this guy looks like a crook, and so on, it is those prominent features that are hitting us. Okay. So I want to end off and start off by sharing with you that our face can actually be split into half, and they are not symmetrical. Your left side and your right side is not symmetrical. Listen closely. Your right side, your right is your professional side. The things that happen in your workplace, in your career, is personified on your right side. Okay. And what happens in your home and the history of your childhood and your love life and your family life is manifested on your left side. Okay? If you can remember this, we can move on. Right side is professional. That's right. And left side is personal. Correct again. Very good. Full of nonsense. Okay, this is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. And you see, we split his head into his face into 2. We definitely don't want to split his head into 2. We split his face into 2. Can you see his right and his left? The eyelids are different, and that's the point I want to make. It manifests differently. So this side, his left side, is his personal side, right? And his personal side shows that he's affectionate. Although he's a rational kind of prime minister, at home, he is still a loving father and a loving husband. So I was invited to Israel to talk about the 4 prime minister candidates, and I talked in deep detail the 4 candidates for more than an hour. And some of the Israelis says, do you know them personally? I say, no, I don't. Where are you from? I say, I'm from Singapore. He says, we know them personally. We have lunch, we have dinner with them, and everything you said was spot on. Okay, so okay, we're not going to talk about this until the next picture and so on, what we have here. Okay, so what I did an analysis was this. Those of you who are Beatles fans, I put this really good clinical study on my Facebook post, is that those of you who know the Beatles, this is Paul McCartney, and in 1964, allegedly, there was a rumor saying that Paul McCartney actually died in a car crash, and his double actually took over the role of Paul McCartney because they were at the height of the Beatles mania. And in the next gig in Wembley, nobody noticed that he was replaced. The dead Paul McCartney was replaced by his double, someone who wore a Paul McCartney look-alike. So for many years, a lot of Beatles fans were going through that and say, is this the real Paul McCartney? So you realize one thing, Paul McCartney's face do change after a lot of time. You know, mouth can change, celebrities can do a nose job, eyebrows can change, but I realized one thing is that the ears don't really change. The years do not really change. But the problem is after 1964, when they went into Sgt. Pepper's, the whole Beatles were carrying long hair, and I could not see their ears anymore. Eventually, I had a pre 1964. This was before the car crash, and the post 1964, and it's the real deal. The current Paul McCartney is a real Paul McCartney. Okay, so that's what Faith Reading can actually bring to you. So Wayne Chan, you asked me to read this gentleman, the head of Who. So if you give me a picture like that, and I wish I could do a live reading with one of you, but I don't know if you keep moving, and because the camera might be too blur to read, so I decided to take one request. And Wayne Chan, you asked me to read this gentleman from Who, the head of Who. He's every day is on news to talk about the COVID. So the first thing you see, you look at his eyebrow, which I already taught you how to do so. This is quite an affectionate person, both at home as a father and a husband, and as well as his career. So he is the right guy for the job. He actually cares for people. Who knows? I know, because as a head of Who, he has to have some kind of empathy towards the people that he is taking charge of. Thick lips, chatty guy. It's probably very easy to get along. He don't look totally unfriendly, because with the thick lips, he looks like a guy that would chat with you. This bump here shows that he's very high on responsibility. This is something you don't really see very often. I think maybe 1%, 2% of the people that you meet, you might see a bump like this. He takes on his responsibility very, very seriously. The years, what does the years show? This the years without the loop here, the flat year, he's very left brain, very pragmatic. And that is also confirmed by this muscle that is bumped up on the head right here. Okay, this one shows that he has to analyze a lot. He has to take take facts and data into consideration. So every day is okay, how many deaths, how many new infections. He has to take all the statistics. He cannot go by gut feel. Okay, so this is the type of gentleman that you have. Wing eyebrow, that means the eyebrow is not curved like horizon or like Thatcher, but it's slightly winged. So he will get his way. He will argue his way. If you go into a debate, he will bite and he will not let go. Okay, the curved lower eyelids also show he is open to suggestions and open to listening to people. 4 more minutes to go. This next guy I want to talk about, I don't know who he is, but one look, we call it the first impression. Image consultant call it the first impression. For face readers, we call it the countenance. Does he look like a good guy, bad guy, poor guy, rich guy? So if you have probably seen an American actor or something of this kind of persona, you will agree with me, he kind of look like a rich guy. Does that make sense? Kind of like a rich guy, or he will play a role like a rich guy. Okay, so what do we see here? Very thin lips. Thin lips, people doesn't mean they are not chatty. It just means they are very, very private. So if you have coffee with him, he might talk about you, but when you talk about him, there's a limit to how he would share his personal stuff. So it's very private, and he will only share with his closest friend or until you build a rapport and a trust with him before he will share it with you. Okay. High nose ridge, he's very independent. In fact, there is a bump, so he's pretty assertive. The big forehead here shows he's very brainy, smart guy. And this is a little bit of a tangled eyebrow and low eyebrow. Tangled eyebrows means his thinking styles might be a bit different and hard to understand. The very good example of a very tangled eyebrow is actually Prince Charles. Okay, so this low eyebrow actually tells you, see, this actually is on the left side of the face, is a bit more than the right side. But more or less, both are considered very low eyebrow with relative to the size of the head and the position of the head. This is considered low eyebrow. So this guy does things fast. He responds fast. He's going to be, he's going to sleep when you talk about the mundane things. When you go to him, talk about interesting things. Don't talk to him about the giant is on sale, the fruits is on sale, or the mop is on sale. He's not going to buy this type of trivialized stuff. This is what we call a communication line. So this guy is extremely chatty. Again, he's extremely chatty, he's brainy, he's very intellectual, but he just doesn't tell you much about some hidden past about him. Okay, so finally, we're going to end with one more tip. So what did I teach you? Basically, two things for you guys to bring home today. Double eyelids is affectionate, and no eyelids is very focused. So this is the thing you can just start off with. Then I talk about the what I talk so much, but the things that I want to bring in was the eyebrow. Yeah, the eyebrow. So I show you the Indira Gandhi and Corazon Aquino. High eyebrow, more friendly. Low eyebrow, more intense and more analytical. Okay, so the last one I want to share with you, and this is not so easy, but this is one of the advanced thing. If you draw a line across the eye, and if the ears are touching, okay, high ears and low brow, maybe that man is high ears and low brow. You see that? If I draw a line across, his top of his ear is definitely cutting over this line. Okay, so this guy is exactly this description. He takes in information extremely quickly, and he processes information extremely quickly. Okay, high ears, just like a dog, like those guard dogs. You make a sound, meow, the dog ears goes up, so they are always on alert. As compared to the other type of people where the ears are low. When you talk about ears are low, the nose, the line as you draw across the nose, the bottom of the loop of the ear cuts the line, that line, the invisible line, that's low ears. They actually takes in information slowly. Okay, so what does it mean? If you are in sales and you're selling to those kind of people, if you're insurance, and so many of you guys are insurance right now listening to me, when you are proposing a policy to that person, go a bit lower. Okay, they might look at you, they might blink, and then they take in information very slowly. Okay, the other guy, cut to the chase. He might even interrupt you, and he says, okay, the main things I want to learn is this. Oh, tell me this information. And you cannot say, oh, no, let me go through the whole presentation. No, just get to the point, because that guy is going to be really impatient. Okay, so with that, I have spot on 8:30 sharp, spot on. Did you guys enjoy that? Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, wow, that was a wonderful presentation. I think I learned a lot about face reading. Of course, when I watch this particular video again after the seminar is over, if you are a participant, if you have registered and somehow you missed part of it or you didn't manage to log on, don't worry, you'll get an email of the link. But let me remind you, for those of you who just came in, now we are 135. We almost hit 140 just now. There are 32 shares on Facebook. So 3/4 of you are not sharing. I think the reason is because you are holding your mobile phone and you're trying to log on from your mobile. Maybe you're out of the house. I'm not sure. That's why you can't do two things in one go. But do remember, if you have to log off for a moment and go to Facebook and look at our video and share it live and come back again, it's still worth it because you won't miss much. And I already seen 2 questions for Christian, so Christian can.
Okay, so Lip Wee who says, "Can you read
Uh,
the face of our first lady?" And the answer is, "You want me to die, ah?"
okay, Christian,
Especially
maybe
the Prime
we leave
Minister's
it at the
wife.
end of the talk. Okay, Christian, we leave it at the end of the talk. We leave at the
Yes.
end of the talk, all right?
Okay.
So now it's my turn. You know what's the problem of being the MC and also as a speaker? There's nobody will introduce me, but don't worry, everything about me is on this slide. I have only half the experience I have compared to Christian, but I think I've been to slightly more countries than he is. Maybe because these days international travel is so common, right? And that is why COVID has a chance to spread so quickly. So without further ado, I'm going to get on to what I'm going to talk today. So I'm going to talk about personality type and how do each of these type manage a crisis like today, and who can you really work with to be successful. So without further ado, are you my type? So this is how you'll find me on social media. Ideas Andrew in all platforms. So if you have a feedback, if you have a question you are too shy to ask, please post it on some of the platform. Message me, and I'll be glad to handle you. Wow, we just hit 140. That's good. So who are you really? I have said before that our personality really creates four things for us. Number one, it creates our own world. You and I, our world and our perception of how things should be done are really different, right? And the same environment have different effects on us. So we adjust to the same thing very, very differently. And to come down further, the same situation, we also respond very, very differently. If today your lamp on top of your head fall to the ground, you will respond differently, your brother will respond differently, your dad will respond differently, and maybe your wife will respond differently. We are all different to the same thing. Last but not least, it affects the way how we engage each other. So the question we ask and the thoughts that we project and the action that we have all make us who we are today. We are very unique. It's really about how do you care about the world around you. So why do we need to study personality and read each other's type? It's very simple. If you can profile yourself and others, you save a lot of time trying to have a lot of guesswork. You can plan your own professional development growth path. You can predict somebody's behavior. You have done your homework. You know that when you do something, you know what the other person is going to say. Of course, who doesn't want to build rapport with difficult people? To everyone out there, to some people out there, we may be difficult. However good we think we are, there are some things that people just can't connect with us. Have you ever seen or have you ever experienced this? That when you met someone for the first time, for 10 minutes, you know that you share something in common. What is that something? You both don't really like each other. You didn't do anything to each other. You didn't say anything unfriendly, but somehow you know that you are not each other's type. So I'm going to play a game with everyone. This is the very exciting part. I want you guys to look at these 9 pictures out there with numbers. Now, I want you to choose 3 important pictures that you feel that you resonate with. Now, I want you to choose 1 picture from each column. This is a column. This is a column. And this is a column. So 2, 3, 4, pick 1. 5, 6, 7, pick 1. 8, 9, 1, you pick 1. Pick 1 picture that you resonate with the energy or the person inside. Please do not choose this picture because you like horticulture. It's totally wrong. And please don't choose this because you miss gym so much, you feel that this is what you're going to do. No, this is about the energy and the person, the personality in that picture itself. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to pick 1 from each column. And I'm going to shut up for 30 seconds. I allow you to make your choice. And I'd like you to type out okay, maybe we do that a bit later. So please pick 1 from 2, 3, 4, 1 from 5, 6, 7, and 1 from 8, 9, 1. Wow, we have 63 shares now on Facebook. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Please comment. Please comment. All right. Okay. Have you done your tree selection? Now, the three numbers that you have, now I want you have your final tree, right? I don't care which tree number, you can be 2, 6, 1, it can be 4, 6, 8, doesn't matter. I want you to rearrange them according to importance. That means the most important card of the final three comes first. There's a second card, less important, and there's a third card, least important. I want you to rearrange those numbers again. Can you do that in 15 seconds? All right. So I'm sure you have all your final three number, right? Okay, this is an instruction. Listen carefully, very carefully. Please add a 0 behind, and as soon as 4D is allowed to open again, please buy that number. That's your lucky number. No, just kidding, okay? Forget about what I said just now. Your final three number, keep it. You can type the three number out as in the chat if you want, and I will try to decipher everything for you. Are you ready? So each of these number has a name. I want to ask, anyone choose this card as the first card? You are known as a perfectionist. You have high standard at work. You have a very good eye for details. You are dedicated in everything. You are very detail oriented. So if somebody has done their homework many times, pass to you, you can spot the mistake very fast, because you can actually be very meticulous and you have full of principles. You are very reasonable and very fair. If you are a leader, you probably lead by example. So what is that got to do with this? If you are a perfectionist, you are very good with processes, you are very good with guidelines, and you always lead by example. In a crisis like this, you will always want to do the right thing. You will always want to lead by example. So you are very good with doing things. You are very hardworking, but you are a perfectionist. Now, a perfectionist impose their standard on other people. So they have very high standards. So not many people can meet your standard. So to all the perfectionists out there, the world needs you, because you are the gatekeeper. You are the yardstick of the world. So these lists of words are really to explain when you are hyper positive, when you're doing well. The top bar will be the words that's used by others on you, and the middle will be the neutral words that people use on you, and the last one under negative will be the words that people use to dislike you. So the same person who is very disciplined, hardworking, can be a total judgmental and obsessive person. But are we talking about two different persons? No, the same, because our perception of the same person is really different. So I want to know how many of you choose number 2. Okay, I can't see your hands. Please type a number in, because I want to borrow money from you. You are someone who is a helper. You are someone who is a giver. So you are someone that can relate to a lot of people easily. All right. You are very friendly. You are very giving, very encouraging. You are very caring and warm. You are best in customer service. You're a very good social worker. You may be a very caring nurse. Anything that deals with people, you are there. You have all that it takes to connect with different types of people. So a helper has one major issue in life. He just can't say no. He doesn't know how to reject people. So in a time of crisis, he always overstretch himself or herself and help others. The first thing that comes to your mind is, how can I be of help to others? So if you're a helper, give yourself a pat, because you are compassionate at a very high level. But when people don't really like you, they may find that you are a little bit possessive and even manipulative. But it's not that bad, really. I want to ask, anybody choose this card, number 3, the running man, the running. Okay, because I like you, you're my type. I'm also a 3. A 3 is very optimistic, very positive. He seldom gets struck out, even though he may be struck down. He gets up very fast. He's very competent. He has no time for small talk. He is very mindful about what is it in for him. In the office, very easy to spot him. full of certificates and trophies in his office. He knows how to motivate people. He knows how to sell his vision and sell it to you. You feel so inspired. So these are the people that enjoy the limelight, the PR person, the salesperson, the marketing person, the MC, professional speaker like us, right? So we all like glamour because we are so drawn to it. We are a natural performer. One thing not so positive about achiever is that he is very emotionally shut down, so he doesn't share very much about his personal life. So at the top level, you're a go-getter, you're a performer, you are naturally charismatic, I hope so. But you are the one that lacking most self-awareness. So be very careful. The thing about this COVID is that it brings out the best in you because you are the most motivational, the most forward-looking. You know how to turn a crisis into opportunities. You are already thinking about 2 steps ahead of others. You are thinking about what to do when times are good and when times become normal again. Okay, very quickly, go to number 4. Anybody choose number 4, the crayon card? Now, you are the most unique one in the world. Congratulations, because you feel like in a very deep level. There are not many people who understand you because you feel at a very deep level. You like to keep to yourself. You don't need a lot of friends, but when you do, you're very creative, very intuitive. You love being unique. You love to create. In your mind, there are many conversations. You love to talk to yourself because you are your own best friend. So take for example an artist. Have you ever observed an artist welcoming everybody into his art gallery? You will never find that. Why? Because they just want connections. And when a crisis like COVID is now going on, the first thing you do is to really do a lot of self-talk. You can find yourself deeper by talking to yourself. So if you find yourself being creative, very, very unique, you talk to yourself a lot, take heart because you are going to survive. You're going to come with something very innovative. You give the wow factor to the world. So at a very high level, you are very, very inspiring. You can be self-absorbed. And sometimes the biggest hurdle you have is self-destruction. So be very careful. Do not shortchange yourself. Do not self-sabotage. That is what you need to do when you watch your back. Very quickly, number 5, we are coming to the middle. Anybody choose Sherlock Holmes card? You are someone who loves to use your brain a lot. You just keep collecting knowledge. When a crisis comes, you are the one that keep calm the most. You can be cool and collected and stay neutral. You analyze what is going on. You play well by the side. You are someone probably in a meeting. You could keep quiet for 3 hours in a meeting, and yet you observe everything. You are the most observant person. ASAP has a different meaning for you. So ASAP is as slow as possible. Because to you, time and space, personal space especially, is very important. So when someone sends you an email and say, I want it ASAP, you get turned off very easily. You rather write an email than go for lunch. And that is you. So if you're an engineer, a scientist, and a financial analyst, you are probably a top 5 because you love to play from the side. So at a very high level, you're intellectual, you're a guru, you may be quiet and observe and very reserved, but you tend to be antisocial to a lot of people because you like to compartmentalize, you like to be keeping to yourself. So you're basically a loner, but no worries. There are no inferior type or better type, we're just different. Okay, the most interesting. Anybody choose loyalist, number 6 card? Okay, I can't see your hand, but type your number into the chat box. Congratulations, you are the most complicated of all. Why do I say that? You are like a zebra looking for a lion. On one hand, you are very committed and faithful. You stick to what is safe. You enjoy routine. You are probably a long service award winner in your company because you're responsible, you're hardworking, you're committed. You need to see danger to confront danger. So if it's ain't broke, you won't fix it, but you worry a lot. Especially during a crisis like that, you worry constantly about when the next view is coming. You worry constantly about where your job is going to land up to. You get worried about many things. And to make matter worse, when people tell you don't worry, it triggers off something in you that you worry even more. So what you need to do is to enlarge your inner circle and embrace inclusiveness. This is the only way that you can grow, because you have been sticking to your same routine for too long. It's about time to try something new. So at the top level, you are loyal, you are a good follower, but at the very, very bottom, you can be paranoid. You have a lot of devil's advocate. You always ask a question that looks like a spana to a lot of people. And the question is, what if? And what if can never be answered. Talking about having fun, trying something new. Anybody chooses adventurous card, the number 7? Okay, I'm also a 7. This is a card for the enthusiast, for the adventurer, because you know how to make tough fun. Every company needs you. You see the fun, you're spontaneous, you're free spirit. Anything new you want to do today, don't wait till tomorrow. You're very smart. You can take the risk, and you can see big picture very, very easily. So easy. But you lack focus. So if anything short term comes to you, you're excited. Anything long term is very difficult to catch your attention. So anything like event management, advertising, short-term work really, really attracts you. Okay, but if you're asked to front a organization development, you may not be so good because you just want everything chop chop. And the reason why you get bored so easily is because you see, when people say 1, 2, 3, you can figure out 4 to 10 in a jiffy. So no wonder people find that you may be superficial, but you're not. You already know it and you're way ahead of others. It's just that people misunderstood you. So your challenge is to find focus. And this is the time when COVID happens, you can bring joy to the people around you. You are the only one can provide the fun out of toughness. You're the only one that can help people to see the big picture. So take heart that the world needs you. Continue to be who you are. Okay, so you can be spontaneous, versatile, lively, experiential, all the way come down to impulsive and lack of focus. Don't worry, all of us is plus or minus. They just say that's just what life is all about. Very quickly, this is the one that I hate most. Anybody chooses number 8 card? The reason why I say I hate this most because I also belong to this. This is Donald Trump in disguise. You're straightforward, no nonsense, no sugarcoating. So you love to meet everything heads on. You're honest, you're direct, but you don't like people to betray you. It is very, very unusual for this person because he's strong when there's opposition. Very strong. But when there's no opposition, he doesn't know how to be strong. So you are someone who has a pioneering spirit. Whatever that happens to you, whatever things that need to be done, you do it first. You take initiative. You don't wait for others. And that is what is awesome about a type A. They are, of course, the leaders that we always see. So people like our founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, all right, they're all like this. They may be quiet, but they're very confident. They protect their own people. They fight for fairness, but they can be seen as controlling and even intimidating. Last but not least, anybody choose this Zen Yoga card? My fellow speaker, Nick, it's actually a 9, all right? A 9 is very peace-loving. Nelson Mandela is one such example. He's non-judgmental, very inclusive, very nice guy, very patient, very peaceful, very, very good meditator, facilitator. You can see everybody's perspective. In fact, he's so nice that people can't think of anything special about him. Now, what happened? Because they just know that life is good when there is no conflict. So whenever there's a conflict, they won't move, even though it's only the minority 10%. So they would rather procrastinate, stop doing it, don't do anything more because somebody will be hurt if you make a certain decision. So in fact, at the very top level, they are easygoing, gentle. They may be very accommodating, but they can be very stubborn and oblivious to what is going on. They smell the roses, but they smell it too long. All right, guys, this is the exciting part. The reason why I divide the card into this is that I want you to remember what is your first number. If your first number comes from 2, 3, or 4, you're probably an emotional person. You use your heart more than your brain. If a first card comes from 5, 6, 7, you're more of a rational person. You like to use your rationale, your thinking, before you actually feel about it. What happens if you choose 1, 8, or 9 as a first card? You are someone who go on a gut feel. A gut feel is in between the head and the heart. You are a hybrid. So when your first card comes from 891, you go and do things based on gut feel. If a second card comes from feeling, you do first and then you feel about it. So guys, last 2 slides. Do you want to know how you connect with people? If you have any 2 cards beginning with 4, 5, and 9, you are a withdrawn person. It means you let other people come to you in a social situation. If you are 2, 6, or 1, any of this, or 2 of this, or 3 of this, you are a compliant person. You go with the flow. If people are retreating, you'll be moving forward. And when people are retreating, you'll be moving forward. 1, 7, and 8, you are someone who is assertive. Okay, sorry, it's 3, 7, and 8. You are someone who will make it happen. 3, 7, 8, like me. I'm 3, 7, 8. I make things happen. I always take initiative. Last one. Do you want to know how you react based on conflict? If you have 1, 3, or 5, you are a very competent person. A 3 will manage conflict by sidestepping, by being flexible. A 5 will analyze who is right and who is wrong. A 1, no one will have conflict with them. Do you know why? Because they are always right and you're always wrong. It's very simple. If your 3 cards is 2, 7, or 9, any of these 3 combination, all right, if you're single and available, please let me know, because you are the most positive person on earth. If anybody has a problem with you, the problem lies with that person and not you. If you have 4, 6, or 8, the way you react to conflict is you're very reactive. A 4 will say, oh, a 4 will be why me, card mentality. A 6 will be da. This time sure die already. 8, you will confront the thing head on. So guys, what does this 3 number means? So I want you to do this. Type your 3 number in the chat because we want to remember you. The first number is obvious to all. I don't have to know you for years to know it. 1 minute, maybe an hour after I know you, I can sense that you are this type. The second number is interesting. It is the engine that drives the first number. So my first card is 3. My second card is 8. And you know what? I am a fun performer. Anything that's fun, it'll be a motivation for me to do what I do. The last number is your potential. It is unknown to many, known to you. It is what you will do when you have a crisis, when you're pushed against the wall, when your life is threatened, when your job is threatened. That number will surface. So I want you to look at the 3 numbers very carefully. Right now, COVID-19, which part of your personality is showing the most? I bet it's the last number, because that is where your potential is. This is the character that will give you breakthrough in times of crisis. Actually, I'm very thankful that we have a hard time now, because it is through hard time that you have a breakthrough. So I hope that this talk, all right, I think I'm sorry. Okay, I just remember I can't see all your video, so all you have to do is to key your number onto the chat, and I will get in touch with you. There is a poll that I will be launching very soon. You can key in your number, and I hope that you can continue to do a screenshot of this particular seminar, share on your Facebook, and get as many people as possible to come. We are still at 65 share, so my part is almost done. And if you have any question, please post it in Q&A. I'll be glad to address it. Right now, I'd like to hand the time to Nick. And Nick is a behavioral scientist. Nick is really an incoming speaker. He's like the next generation speaker. He's very well read, very knowledgeable. He has a lot of research, and I just amazed how many books he reads and how can he mesh all the knowledge together. He's very interested in neuroscience, psychology, and business. He inspires his client with a lot of tools. He's a great coach, a great speaker, and I believe one day he will produce a very, very good book. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Nick to you, and I will leave the 3 points to him. I'm sure that he will wow you with his wisdom. So, Nick, please.
Hi, good evening everyone, and welcome from wherever you are in the world today. Unlike Chris and Andrew, I'll likely not be using as many slides, right? Because what I'll be doing is to share tips that are perhaps more experiential. So I'll talk a little bit in between. But the topic that I've chosen for today is how to cultivate a Jedi state of mind, right? So I'm just gonna share my screen. Let me know whether or not people are able to see this. Okay. So think about it. The Jedi state of mind is a state, right, that is someone who's able to be cool, right, to be calm, even when there are all sorts of difficulties, even when it's life-threatening. Most of us started off the year perhaps thinking that 2020 is a new year, it's a new decade, and we thought that it's going to be a great year for most of us, isn't it? Just our hopes. And then as by came about COVID-19, perhaps some of us are feeling this way. We're a bit afraid, our eyes are closed, we're wondering when will this ride end? And perhaps for some of us, we could be feeling like this instead, where this is a picture of what we call drown-proofing. With their hands and feet tied and throw them in the pool, and they're supposed to survive for a few minutes. And you find that for those people who survive well, they are those who can remain cool and calm. But for those who are worried, for those who struggle, they are the one that will sink. So my question to you is, in this COVID-19 situation, in your personal life, in your business, in your works, in your careers and jobs, in your relationships, which do you feel more like? Do you feel that your hands and legs are perhaps tied, and perhaps you feel like you're drowning? Or even in this situation, even with your hands and feet tied, we can't go out. For many of us in different countries, we have a lockdown. In Singapore, we call it the circuit breaker. But yet, if we keep cool and calm, just like some of these individuals you see, they will let their bodies go down, and when it touches the floor, they kick up, and then they come up for breath again, and then they go down. So during this period of time, perhaps, we are like in this position. We're not too sure when the end is going to be. But if we're able to cultivate this calm and cool state of mind, we're definitely going to survive. In this situation, there are 3 responses. The first response is, in this difficult situation that we are going through around the world, that we could fall apart. This is what we call the fragile response. The second response is we endure. It's tough. We shall endure this together. This is what we call the resilient response. But there is a third way, and the third way is better. The third way is to thrive. And even though the situation is difficult, we have what we call the anti-fragile response. The word anti-fragile, if you look at the dictionary, there's no opposite word of fragile. So the word anti-fragile is a term that was developed by Nassim Taleb, who talks about how individuals and systems, there are people who, when they go through difficult times, they don't come out the same. That is resilient. They just endure and they come out the same. But there are people and systems that when hardship befalls them, they come out stronger. They come out thriving. So the Jedi state of mind is what I call the anti-fragile state of mind. That's what I want to be sharing. And the Jedi isn't just someone who is able to have this cool anti-fragile state of mind. He's also able to read people's minds sometimes and to influence people, right? And so while Chris spoke about face reading and how you can read personality just by looking at the face, and Andrew spoke about how when you give something information about yourself, he can tell the personality type. What I'm going to do at the end, right, there's a bit of time, is I see that there are some of you who have raised your hands up in the chat earlier. And what I'm going to do is, I think I know 1 or 2 people. I'm not too sure of the rest. A couple of names are familiar. But even just by looking at your name, I'm going to demonstrate how you can even read someone's personality just by having a state of intuition. The Jedi state of mind is not just an anti-fragile, strong mind, but someone who has a very deep intuition. We call these people intuitive, or some people we call it empath. So towards the end, I'm just going to share with, over this webinar, what I see as a personality type of these people, right? And if it is correct, would you just give a thumbs up later on for those of you over there? So I'm going to be demonstrating that in a while. The first thing I'm going to do for today is to teach you the grounding techniques to achieve an instant calm and to regain your center in life. So to teach this, I'm going to teach a little bit of a background first. What happens is this: during a stressful situation like COVID-19, where we're reading the news, where our jobs are threatened, where we're worried for our health, This activates in our body what we call the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the one that when it is stressed, right, the blood will move from the visceral part of the body into your hands and to your feet. Why? Because when the body is flooded with cortisol, when you're stressed, your body enters into what we call a fight or flight mode. When you're fight or flight mode, you are not in a rational thinking mind, you get into gut reflexes. So when you're stressed in a situation, you are into fight and flight. The thing about COVID-19 is that we are fighting something invisible. I mean, it's visible to microscopic, right? But we can't see it with our naked eye. And this situation doesn't seem to have an end. When you're into fight and flight mode, there is a threat, a line in front of you. You can try to run away from it. But when you're looking at this virus at this point of time, and there don't seem to be a kind of immediate solution, right? This stressful mode, when it's prolonged, what happens is this. Your body enters into what we call the fight and flight mode, and the blood goes away to hands and feet, and your body takes away the energy that is needed for your immune system, and it actually goes down. So for people who are stressed up, you actually do yourself a double whammy, because mentally your cortisol damages the body if it's prolonged, and your immune system is compromised. So what you want to do is to activate the parasympathetic system. This is what we call the rest and digest system in the body, where you can be calm. So I'm going to teach 3 techniques of how we can activate the parasympathetic system. For those of you at home who are just tuning in at this point of time, the next 20 minutes is going to be experiential for us. So the first thing we're going to do is what I call breathing 5 to 9. Breathing 5 to 9 is simply breathing. We know what 9 to 5 is, but the opposite, just a simpler way to remember, is breathe in slowly for 5 seconds, hold for 2, and to breathe out for 9. So just like everyone, wherever you are in your homes right now, just do this together with me, right? We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 2, and breathe out 8, 9. So that's one way. I'm just going to teach you this now because we're going to do this in a while. So one way is when you simply manage your breath. When you can slow down your breathing, you are able to activate slowly the parasympathetic system. The next thing I'm going to do is what I call a vagus nerve exercise. So a vagus nerve exercise is, so I'm going to stop share and I'm going to demonstrate this for us. There are 12 cranial nerves in the body, of which there is the 10th one is called the vagus nerve. It is from the brainstem all the way to the ears, to the heart, to the lungs, to the stomach. So when people say, my gut feel, that's sometimes the vagus nerve in the body. The vagus nerve in Latin means wandering, because it's a wandering nerve and it goes all over the body. This vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S, if you activate it, people with stronger vagus nerve tone, they call it vagus nerve tone, they are usually psychologically and physically healthier. So there are ways to activate it, right? And I'm going to show you one simple way. So slow breathing is one way. The second method is going to be this. Can I invite you all in your own homes, right? If you can just put your phones down, if you're looking at a computer, I'd just like you to put your hands behind your head like this. And as you put your hands behind your head like this, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. So, okay, put it down for a moment. So we're going to do that in a while. I want you to turn your neck. Turn to the left and slowly turn to the right. And see which part of your neck has more of an ache, the left side or the right, right? You can just type it out over the chat. Which one has more of an ache? I just want you to remember this when we do this exercise. So now that you've tested for that, the left and right, you're going to put your hands behind your neck like this. And I want you, with your face facing forward, I want you to turn your eyes to the left and try to look at your left elbow. Right? So look at your left elbow. Just stretch your eyes, don't strain it. Just try to see on your left side, your left elbow, and do the deep breathing 5 to 9. Let's just do this for a couple of times together. So in, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now bring your eyes to the front. Hold this position, bring your eyes to the front. And now turn your eyes to the right. Stretch your eye to the right. Try to look at the right elbow. Right, stretch it, but don't overstrain it. And do the same thing a couple of times. We're going to do this, we're going to hold this position for about 30 seconds. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold it there for a while. Now turn your eyes back to the front. Some of you may feel a little bit lightheaded, then that's okay. Now put your hands down, and I want you to turn your neck again, slowly to the left and right. And where the strain was, I want you to feel and see. Can you see that the part, for most of you who have a body awareness, you will find that the ache on your neck on one side generally is going to be more relaxed. Okay? If you have that, would you just type it out now? What happened is this. Usually if you're doing this vagus nerve exercise, you want to do it for 1 minute on the left and 1 minute on the right. If you do this, what happens is you're straightening up the disc on your neck, the C1 and C2, and there is more blood flow to your brain. When there's more blood flow to your brain, generally, you're going to activate the parasympathetic system and you're going to feel more calm. Now, we've done breathing. We've all activated the vagus nerve. And now, number 3, we're going to do what I call bringing the awareness to the feet. So for those of you who are seated on a chair when you're looking at this, if you can just go to a chair right now. If you're not, if you're lying on the bed, see whether you can just move your body a bit and put your legs to the floor. Now, sometimes when you're stressed and worried, right, all the worries in the head. Now, here's a simple exercise that you can do in just 5 seconds. Wherever you are seated down, I would like you to bring about 50% of your attention to the bottom of your feet. Just bring your awareness to the bottom of your feet. And now bring a little bit more. Just bring your awareness to your feet. Slowly breathe in and out. Can you see that just by bringing your attention to the feet, somehow you feel more grounded? So slow breathing, the nerve, activation nerve, and the feet. Now, for the last one, right, in this portion, I'm going to teach you what we call a whole brain posture. You see, when we are stressed, what happens is sometimes the emotional brain, which is the right hemisphere, and the amygdala, which is close to the brain is not just left to right, the brain is back to front. So we want to be more whole brain when we're stressed. And one way to be more whole brain when we're stressed is to strengthen what we call the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is the bridge between the left and right hemisphere. And when this corpus callosum is somehow activated or strengthened, you're going to feel more whole brain. And when more whole brain, when you think of a stressful situation, you're generally more calm and more relaxed. So here's an experiment. I want all of you now to think of something that's giving you some stress. Think of something, maybe in particular, that's giving you some stress. It could be your job, your worry, or maybe it is something that was bothering you that happened a few months ago with someone, or something that happened today, or maybe you're worried about something for the future. Think of something that's giving you a level of stress that is maybe 6, 7, or 8. Try not to go to 9 or 10. We don't want you to be really traumatized in any way. So just think of something that is giving you a stress of 6, 7, or 8 max. If you have it in your mind, right, for some of you, would you just put a thumbs up and say you got it over in the chat, just so I know. So just think, you have that in your mind. So we're going to come back to that in a moment. So remember this stressful situation. Now, I'm going to ask all of you to do a couple of things. The first thing is I'm going to ask you to cross your ankles. I'm going to share a picture with you on my screen again. I would like all of you to, where you're sitting on the chair, or you could be lying on a bed, that's fine. I want you to put your legs either left over right or right over left. So this is just for your ankles, okay? I would just like you to put your ankles either on the left over right or right over left. So you're seated down or you're lying down, and that's going to be fine. One of it is going to be more comfortable. So which one is it? Left over right or right over left? Right, I'm just going to hold this picture for just 5 more seconds for you to get it. So left over right or right over left, hold this position for now. Good. And right now, I'm going to then go back to the video and show you. So the legs are like this now. The second part is your hands. I want you to do this, right? Either right over left or left over right, and put your hands like this together. See which is more comfortable. Left over right, and then cross like this, or right over left and cross. Which one feels more comfortable for you? Likely there's one direction. And when you do this, I would like you to bring your hand close to your chest like this. Or for some of you, if you're more comfortable, to put your hands on your lap. Okay? So which is more comfortable? Right? It's either right over left or left over right. And then put it close to your chest or put it on your lap. Now, this is the whole brain posture. Would everyone just do that? Your ankles are crossed, your hands are crossed. Now, I want you to close your eyes, and for the next 45 seconds to maybe a minute, I'm going to be asking all of you to close your eyes and think of that stressful situation that you had in your mind before. Can we all do this? I'm going to count a timer of 45 seconds. Can everyone just close your eyes? Breathe in slowly, hold and breathe out slowly. And just be in this position. I'm going to be quiet for the next 30 seconds. And then at the end of this, I will ask you all to gently open your eyes again. But in the meantime, just close your eyes, think of the situation, and hold this posture. Another 15 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Would you all gently open your eyes wherever you are? And can you all do this? Would you all just take your fingertips like this, wherever you are, and just put it together? And with your eyes open, we're just going to hold this position for 10 seconds, right? We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, sit back, take a deep breath. Now, I want you to think of the same situation that you had thought about it before. Is it whatever the number that you had before? Can you feel the number of it now? It's likely minus a 1 or minus a 2. So whenever any one of you are feeling stressed, simply go into this whole brain position with your legs and your hands. Each time you can change and think of the situation. For some of you, when you're in that posture, you will find that your stress will go up a little bit. But if you keep the posture, after a while it goes down. And when you emerge from it, when you think back, somehow the situation is no longer stressful. So that's the first thing, right? So that is the whole brain position. I got 15 more minutes. I'm going to teach you 2 more techniques. The second one is what we call how to supercharge your body and mind for energy. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share my screen again so that as I go through the second portion. So the second thing that I said I'll teach you today is how to supercharge your body and mind with energy for sustainable performance. The basic thing is just remember SHED. During this stressful time, you need your basic energy for your brain and for your mind. So sleep, hydration, exercise, and diet. That's the first basic one, right? Now, if you're not having enough sleep at this point of time, no matter what you do, you will find that you're going to feel more stressed because we can give you the best medication, we can give you the best therapy, but if you don't have enough rest, you're likely not going to do so well. So just remember SHED for your mind and body. Now, I'm going to go into the more, into the advanced tip. Now, most of us know what a placebo is, right? A placebo is that even though someone gave you a sugar pill, but you believe it's a medication, somehow you will think your body, for some people, they heal. So even though they didn't get a medication, they got a sugar pill, but they thought it was a medication, there has been many, many studies and research that shows that somehow people who take a placebo there is a very good percentage that many of them get healed. So the question is why? Now this is the science behind some of these body miracles. In our body, we have what we call an internal pharmacy, right? An internal pharmacy is such that your body is able to produce the chemical reactions or neurotransmitters that is needed sometimes to heal your body. So for these people who believe that they do also medicine, they truly believe it, they tell themselves, this is a medicine and I'm going to get well. Now this is very important because the mind, we call it neurobiology, the brain or the mind can influence the body to heal itself. So the mind is a physician sometimes. So what is important is remember that your biography becomes your biology. What you say to yourself or what you say about yourself can sometimes impact your biology. Chris spoke about it a little bit in epigenetics just now. Now I'm going to go into how to activate this internal pharmacy. So just remember this. The tip is this: up your dose, D-O-S-E. And dose stands for 4 things. It stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. These are 4 neurotransmitters that are very important for your well-being. There are more. There's norepinephrine, there's GABA, there's acetylcholine, there's many out there. But just for today, to keep it simple on this half-an-hour webinar for my portion, just remember up your dose: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. Dopamine is the motivation chemical, right? It is based on the reward system in the body. So for example, when you get sunlight, when you exercise, when you are able to do some of these things, your body will feel more motivated. So if you don't get enough dopamine in your body, you will find that you will have a lack of motivation, right? For some of us, serotonin is the courage chemical. Serotonin is important for well-being. It is sometimes known as the chemical for courage and hope. So dopamine is motivation. Yes, you have a goal. But if you don't have enough serotonin in the body, you won't have the courage to go for your goal that you want to. Serotonin is very similar to dopamine, where if you have enough sleep, where you have enough rest, you exercise, there's a bit of sunlight, For serotonin, if you eat things like nuts, salmon, your body will produce more of these neurotransmitters. Oxytocin is the connection chemical. Oxytocin is your sense of well-being. It's called the love chemical sometimes. So during this period of time in your homes, if you spend the time every day to connect with someone, either on a face call, or Zoom, or phone call, to just have a social connection, especially during this time where we are physically distanced. We call it social distancing, but we're more like physical distance, right? We are physical distancing, but we don't have to have social distancing. We can still be socially connected to people by making phone calls to people and checking in with them. When you do that, you activate the oxytocins in your body. The last one is endorphins. Endorphins are for what we call relief stress and pain in the body. It is a natural morphine, right? The effect on the body is like morphine. So when you have endorphins, you find that you're able to go through hardship. Now, during this period of time when we're stressed and when we're worried, we need dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins in our body for our general well-being. And if we do not have enough of this, endorphins can be gotten when you exercise, so you do high intensity, you eat chocolates, you get it. When you have enough rest, you also get it also. There are references online, maybe we'll post out some of it later, in food that you can eat and things that you can do to trigger more of this. So just remember, during this period, you want to up your dose. Now, for those of you who are more auditory in nature, this is a middle to advanced level tip. Solfeggio frequencies are frequencies on different level of hertz. What happens is that different levels have a different effect on the body. For people who are generally more sound sensitive, it may not work for everyone. Go online, Google solfeggio frequencies, and for those of you, right, who need more sleep, for example, and you want to rest, try and listen to some of these different level frequencies, tone or music, and some of them have an effect on the body. Some people respond better and some people don't, so you just have to experiment and find out what works for you. The last thing I want to share for today, right, is heart hacking. I call it mind hacking, but I changed it to heart hacking to create inner strength and compassion. So during this period of time where things are difficult, one of the things that we want to be able to do is to create and generate self-compassion for oneself. Now, all of us have what we call an emotional set point. We do a lot of temperature taking, right? Test our temperature, the day you do have a fever and so on. What we want to do is sometimes you want to check in with the people around our life. What is their emotional temperature taking? What do I mean? When you wake up in the morning, from a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is depressed, and 10 is you're really happy. Generally, when you wake up during this period of time, what is your emotional set point, or emotional heart set? For most people, sometimes it could be 4, 5, 6, or 7. And imagine that if your emotional set point is low, 4 or 5, because we are either worried, stressed, depressed about something, it has a negative impact again on our immune system, on our minds, and on our bodies. So how do we bring up the emotional set point? So I'm just going to teach you a simple technique that I combine through mindful self-compassion and somatic experience, which is a technique that people use for traumatized people, right? People with PTSD. So in mindful self-compassion, what we want to be able to do is, I'm just going to go through quickly, and then I'm going to demonstrate this for us. In the self-compassion later on, I just want you to think of 3 things. First thing is bring a situation to mind that is causing you a little bit of worry and unhappiness. It could be different from the one we had earlier on. Now, when you think of the situation, we will say 3 things to ourselves. We will say, this is a moment of suffering. That is mindfulness. We can acknowledge the moment. And then we can say to ourselves, as part of common humanity, suffering or pain is part of life, right? And then the third thing that we're going to say is, so for some of us, we can hold our hands to our hearts. So I'm going to show you a different posture. And the last thing we will say to ourselves is, may I be kind to myself? Or for example, may I find peace in my heart? Or may I safely endure this pain? Or may I safely endure this suffering? So this is the 3 things that we're going to say to ourselves in a moment. Now, this is the posture that I would like to demonstrate for us. So this is a posture that people use in somatic experiencing. Somatic experiencing is a modality of treating people who are highly traumatized. So people who come as soldiers from the war and so on. And sometimes when they get triggered, they get body, they will shake. They get worried, right? They have very high anxiety level. So we're going to do the mindful self-compassion, but we're going to do it in a somatic experience posture. Can every one of you, wherever you are, put one hand below one armpit, like this, okay? And the other hand, put it over your shoulder. Now, I want you to close your eyes, and just in this position, would you just say quietly to yourself, okay, this is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I endure. May I come out stronger from this. May I be gentle with myself. Just hold yourself in this position. And can you immediately feel, somehow, just by holding yourself, you naturally feel a bit more calm. So that's a somatic experience. Would you gently open your eyes wherever you are? So anytime that you're feeling worried or stressed, what you can do is you can enter into the whole brain posture and think of the situation. You can up your dose, right? And then finally, what you can also do is to, do a self-holding position, and you enter into a mindful self-compassion. That was called a self-compassion break. That's a simple exercise that you can Google online for free. So now, as I come towards the end of my talk, right? One of the things that I want to share is that while we cannot, do anything about the external economy, what we can still do is to manage our own personal economy. The personal economy of our minds, the personal economy of our hearts, the personal economy of our attitude and behaviors, that during this time, we want to cultivate this anti-fragile state of mind, this Jedi state of mind, that you have this ability to be calm and peaceful, and that you're going to come out stronger, right? So, you see, at this point of time, we can either see our life as, I'm just going to share the last couple of slides before I tell you about the personality of the people that I read earlier on. So we can either see our life as life interrupted. Our business is interrupted, our life is interrupted, our work, our career, the children, the schooling, the preschools, the way we eat, the way we relate, the way we date, everything's interrupted. So we can either see our life as interrupted, or we can choose to see as it is life erupted. Meaning, during this period of time where instead of saying that things are being interrupted, we want to use this period to erupt, to come out more, to thrive, to be anti-fragile. so that when we combine the ability of our hearts and our minds, you see, our thoughts are electric and our emotions are magnetic. When our thoughts and emotions are coherent, brain and heart coherent, there is a lot of energy and power, right, in your body. So if you're able to do this, you're going to be able to thrive. Now, I've got 3 more minutes, and I'm just going to do a simple reading of people who raised up their hands early on. I see that most people have put their hands down. I see Jay over there, right? And I see Amy over there also. So I see a couple of new names over there, right? And I see quite a number has. So I'm just going to do this demo for one. Is it okay? I don't think Jay is my friend. I don't recognize this name. Is Jay one of your friends, Chris or Andrew?
Yeah, it's my friend.
Okay, so if it's okay with you, Jay, if you raise your hands, I will just, is it okay for me to read? I don't know who you are, I only have your name. And so I'm just going to sense, right, what I feel and what I see in you. And what, if it's correct, what we're going to do is in the next webinar, we will teach you how the conditions to be able to develop what I call this intuitive, to get intuitive, right? Okay, so Jay, thank you for kind of raising your hands right now. I don't really know you, I only have your name over there. And this is the kind of person that I reckon that you are. In terms of your personality, you could be likened to someone of what I call a well. People who know you likely feel that you're a deep person, right? What I see is I see a well, that you're a very deep person. And what happens is a well gives out water. So what happens is in your life, you are likely someone who has always given be very open to give of yourself, to serve other people, to quench the thirst of other people. You likely have also perhaps a thirst for knowledge. And what you do is, based on the thirst of knowledge, right, people come to you and they draw from you, and they themselves will quench this thirst. So what I see is that you're someone who's likely interested in a lot of knowledge. You want to learn many things, and you have a very deep depth. Now, maybe not many people know it because people, you don't reveal this to many people, but you're likely someone who people feel that they can go to when they have challenges and problems, because you have a kind of a depth of a character, a depth of your mind to be able to quench the thirst and to serve the people around you. My sense is during this period of COVID-19, how you can be of service to the community is that be open, right? Allow more people to come to you. Perhaps maybe you have a reluctance to share this more with people, or to, you feel that perhaps because you don't want to boast, you don't want to show off. So sometimes only your personal friends know this. My sense for you is that if you, during this period of time, do not afraid to be a light, to share with people perhaps more of your wisdom and knowledge, because you can be definitely of service to more people. Yeah. So I don't know you. I hope that maybe afterwards you can give me a comment. Let me know whether this is accurate, whether it makes sense to you, right? And after this, there's Amy there, Diana over there. If you add me on Facebook later on, Nick Jarvis Tan. For some of you, if you just say hello, maybe the first 3 to 5%, right? So I can either do a reading for you, or if you want to test me, if you think I know you, then what you can do is you can think of someone that you have in your life, perhaps a friend, or a sibling, or a person in your life. You just have to give me their name, and I'll tell you what this person is like also. So even without me knowing who they are, you don't have to show me their face or reading, I will tell you the personality, right? So that's it for me today. Over to you, Andrew, at 9:30.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. That was very insightful, and I almost very tempted to allow Jay to speak, but I think I'll leave it to him to connect with you later. So right now, if you have any question for any of us, please post it in the Q&A box. Right now, I see that there are some questions. The person who asked question about reading the face of our first lady has already left. All right, so it's okay. We have one question. Can we do plastic surgery to adjust our face to present the best look and outcome? Do you want to answer live, Christian?
The one that asked me about the first lady, that's actually my golf coach, so I will handle with him later. No way I'm going to do any kind of political figure, so I want to preserve my career here. Anyway, with regards to the plastic surgery question, well, plastic surgery usually goes in tandem with what we are doing. When a person, let's say, does a double eyelid surgery, that means he had no eyelids and then he does a double eyelid surgery. So double eyelids means you're more affectionate. So if a person from being rational wants to have a double eyelid, why does he want a double eyelid? Because to look more attractive. What does more attractive mean to that person? More love. So back to affectionate. So usually it's always in tandem. Whatever shape they do, a nose job, eyebrow tattooing, it helps in our reading more than it disrupts the reading. So in the case of, let's say, a famous person, Michael Jackson, you saw when he was younger, he looked like his baby face, and as he did the plastic surgery, and his music became darker and darker, and then later on you never see his eyes again because it's always on shades with a gloved left hand and a nose that fell off. So his music also became darker, and his life also became darker. So usually plastic surgery enhance and help us to read. Those who need to read a face, I think it's late already. Wei Bin and the other lady, you connect with me on Facebook. I'll definitely do a live reading. But Andrew got something else to share at the end of this seminar, so don't go away. In case those of you who want to enhance your knowledge, I'll leave that later. Andrew, you're muted.
Okay, so I just have one last announcement before we call it a night. That is, I'm going to share my screen. Tomorrow you'll be receiving an email from all of us. Please give us your feedback, and we will appreciate that you help us to improve on the next version, because we are planning to do an advanced version of this talk. So today it's about discovering the real you. On the 30th, 8 days from now, we are doing another series, a more involved series, Discovering the Future You. We are going to tell you, today we tell you what, right? So in 8 days time, we're going to tell you now what? What's next? We're going to tell you how can you use the knowledge and go on to be the person that you want to be, to get yourself ready in this hour of crisis so that you emerge very victoriously. And when times is back, you are first off the gate. And for that, we're going to charge, I'm sorry, I think this is wrong. We're going to charge $50. Okay, everything will be donated to a charity or a social enterprise or NGO who are helping our foreign workers right now. We would announce it when on the day itself. But right now, every single cent that you pay us, it will not go to our pocket. We make it transparent. We would, unless you tell us to put it as anonymous, we will have the full list of people who are participating. Whether we have 5 people or 50 people, we'll still do another seminar like this in 8 days' time. So when you get the email, you get the link to the next seminar. When you click on the link, you will be asked to participate in the seminar, and everything is paid to PayPal, so it's very transparent, it's trackable. If you are not free to listen to us on that day and you think that somebody needs to listen to that, so buy the person a gift, surprise that person, but make sure you tell him that you pay $50 for it, and make sure that, hey, that he listen. So again, if you participate, the link will be for you and you can watch it again. You can then send the link to anybody, but be there so that together we can do something for people that really need our help. And that is the spirit of what we are doing today. We thank you for the 140 people. There are still 105 are here on Facebook. We're still having 30 of our likes. At the height was about 80, I guess. We have 67 shares. So even when this seminar is over in a few minutes time, please continue to share this video on Facebook. One more thing is that on the 26th of April, this Sunday, I'm hosting an online concert. So I take a liberty to have the link in our email. So if you want entertainment, there are hardly any around now because every pub is closed. You will get a 1 hour entertainment from 5 very talented musicians. So on behalf of Nick, Christian, and myself, we want to wish all of you a very pleasant evening. So go and think about what we're going to say. If you need the slides, please connect with us either through WhatsApp, Facebook, all right, and all your different means. I will try to get to you, but I can't promise on behalf of Christian and Nick, so you have to connect with them. So before I go, Nick and Christian, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, thank you so much for spending your time. Time is life. Life we cannot give you back, but we hope we did exchange with you with good content. For the next session, we should probably, I have more time, 45 minutes to an hour. I'll definitely share more points about the face, so you will learn more. It will not be a repeat.
Yes, so the next session we would have more interactive formula. So you'll be longer. Each of us will get about 45 minutes to an hour. So you'll be a very long seminar, maybe about 2.5 to 3 hours seminar. How about Nick? Is there any closing remarks?
Right, everyone, take care during this period of time. Right, use this. Don't waste this circuit breaker or lockdown wherever you are. Use this time to cultivate the strength of your mind and of your heart, so that when things are changing and evolving, you'll find that you are evolving way past the situation. So stay safe and keep evolving. Take care, everyone.
Yes, so on behalf of everyone, the three of us, it's good night and thank you very much for being here. So you will you receive an email tomorrow, exactly 24 hours from now at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So adios and have a good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.